Hey everyone, this is Jaxie. Welcome back to Wargame Wednesday. Today we are playing more Unity of Command. We are now on Little Saturn. This is Scenario 2. So, we have 8 turns. A brilliant victory is everything on time. Decisive is 6. And, so we want brilliant. We really only get 4 turns. That's pretty intense. So a couple things, let's check our supplies. We have one to the north here and one to the northeast. And you'll notice we have a couple bits in our territory that are actually out of supply, including this guy right here. 5th Mechanized Corps. He is across the river though, so he has some decently favorable attacks, whereas no one else really does. And over here, yeah, this guy, the guard's mechanized. I think 90% overrun. Ooh, did not actually get the overrun. Was promised overrun, didn't get it. But pretty decent result there. I'm not trying for a more decisive breakthrough right now, just because in this scenario, if the Germans really want to counterattack, they can. And I don't think the South is going to be my big cash cow. Now this is really good for us, because now we have a little bit of a beachhead forming here on this river. So that's very nice. That's something I like to see. Not great attacking over a river, but certainly could have been worse. I will actually fill in some of those gaps, because the last thing I want is the Germans getting too aggressive. Maybe I'll have them there ready for a follow-up. Alright, we have a lot of armor in the north. We have a bunch of good tank units. Let's start. You'll notice the little purple here is a support unit, and it's often artillery. So I'm going to start with my artillery and try to get a result just like that. That's exactly what we want. Just absolutely blowing them off the line. I wanted a little more there, but if you move a unit, it's not going to fight quite as well before it attacks. And you'll notice when I move it, its support unit isn't quite doing what it should either. So, 3 casualties for 3 supply. Not totally worth it, but we can make this work. Now, I got burned on this 90% last time, did not this time. So let's keep up this momentum. I'm being more conservative than I normally would, because this scenario, I just have a feeling that it could go very poorly for me if I try to do too much. And so right there, you know, maybe you could argue I should be going for bigger encirclements. I don't really want encirclements right now. I'm just trying to destroy things and set my units up for success. I could have made a bridgehead with him. Yeah. I'm not too worried about that. Actually, I'm pretty happy with how all of this is going. I'm going to do some preparatory attacks, try to not let them just dig in that town. I want this little beachhead here to have some supply. So there, the river's not going to be as big of a deal. Let's make sure I didn't miss anyone who is vital. He's not going to get anything good. I don't think any of these guys are. Can you hit a Romanian? No, can't even hit a Romanian. Alright, let's see what the Soviets, or the Germans, can do. You can see I'm real used to playing the Germans in a lot of war games. And there we go. The Italians launch a horrible attack, but maybe now they're going to just try to bum rush me. They're not going to peel around to the north. See, it actually kind of worked out that I didn't go for a grand encirclement, because now they're not going to be able to counter encircle, which is good. They have a lot of units there. mean, if I want to try to destroy them, I have my work cut out. But at the same time, I just felt like if we went for Grand Encirclement on turn 1 without any sort of backup, then they would have just split apart my lines and it would have been a mess. And I'm very happy the 11th Panzer Division launched an attack across the river, and even though it was just regular, basic, boring Soviet infantry, they were kind enough to throw themselves in that meat grinder. I'm going to jump across the river, and that's not actually horrible. That would be, oh, see, I'm not even following my own rules. He would have lost the support. Oh, nothing doing on this river. I can't make the same mistake they did. Let's hit the green troops and see. No. Okay. There's not really much to encircle. So I can just try to come in here and wreak havoc. Thought I could get lucky and get an overrun. But that is definitely not in the cards for me today. So let's see what we can do. Let's defang that panzer unit. Oh, we can't even kill it. That's not ideal, because then it can come around, cut us off. Let's see. If I try to wheel around like that, they're just going to cut up the center and take my supply point, and we can't have that. Oh, there we go. We got an overrun. Beautiful. Can I do it again? Yep, and each time I lose a supply, but I'm hitting such weak units, it just doesn't even matter. I could capture this, and they might try to get cute, but put him there. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to prioritize, yeah, there we go, getting those regular German infantry units out of there. They are the strongest. They're going to be the biggest obstacles I have to face. Can I get an overrun? Oh, it would have been beautiful if I could. And now I have them surrounded, but unfortunately, they are going to be able to act. Let's try to take the fangs out of him and come up. They're going to counterattack, but with this guy here, they shouldn't be able to get my supply lines. Whereas I've captured theirs. Let's see how that works. I'm going to continue to hammer this guy. It's not doing a ton, but really what I don't want them is for them to just be able to dig in and be completely unable to have anything pry them out. If you get units in a city, like panzers don't do well in city warfare. That's the same for a lot of war games. And this one does that. Now, pretty World War I-y here. I'm about to break through in the north, but to get all the objectives, I just don't know. Yep, and they cut me off in the most conservative way possible. That's nice. They didn't take my main supply point, so I can open those supplies back up. That's not a huge deal. And let's actually see if we can get the overrun. We can. Oh, I would have loved for that to kill. And that's destroyed. Okay. Now I gotta play this very carefully. I could encircle, but encircle what? That's kind of the question. Brush him out of the way. Overrun, maybe. No! Breached. Alright, I got one objective a turn early. That's good. And I've got some destroyed. Unfortunately, that unit now is like 100% locked down. I can't move him at all. And since these guys were just cut off, I am being a little risky because all they have to do is cut them off again. And it is what it is. And with this road closed, I really should try to break through from this side. Can I move? Okay. Get those Romanians out. And maybe I start having some options. 20%, 40% overrun. And I did get the overrun. Lovely. Move up. Destroy. Now we're kind of getting somewhere. Alright. And I am now doing all the worst stereotypes of the Soviets. I have more units than they do, so I can make these type of insane trades that they just can't. And that is fine by me. I have more steps across the board. I have more men. As long as this doesn't totally collapse, I can get away with stuff that they absolutely cannot. Move my horse. And alright, it's going to come down to this turn. I can deal with a decisive victory, but I really wanted to see if I could get a brilliant one. It's going to depend on their reinforcements. So let's hit next and find out. And of course, they're going to get 2 armored divisions and some infantry. And they're just going to throw them right in my path. They're being conservative too. It's interesting. The way this game works, the AI has like mini routines they do. It doesn't think like, oh, they're going to cut those off, of course. In certain situations, the AI will act certain ways. It's pretty adaptive, and it definitely wants to prioritize taking taking objectives and taking supply points and things of that sort. Now that I have that road open, it's going to be much better for me. I just have to keep those guys where they are, unfortunately. Can I get an overrun? No, of course I can't. Because that would have been too nice. Too convenient. But yeah, it's a real interesting AI system. It punishes you when it needs to punish you. And like I said in the last video, the AI really plays into the fact that it's just buying time. And that's all it's doing. It doesn't have to beat you. Oh, I can't quite get there. Man, that's a shame. Oh, the cavalry, it's too weak. Wouldn't be able to even if it wanted to. Let's shift you. Sacrifice for the glory of the motherland, blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's not even worth it for him. There we go. Alright, I took 2. I feel better. And my supplies are okay. But yeah, the AI, like, it knows it just has to delay me. It doesn't have to win this. It's already lost. It's down to 1 victory point. It doesn't have the units. But it was able to screw with my supplies up here. And if I had been just a little better, all these armored units just have to sit and wait. Man, it's a shame. But it's a really fun game. Like you guys can see, I don't normally do live commentary, but I kind of wanted to so you guys can see what goes through my head. And this game, for being as simple as it is, and it doesn't have counters, which I know bothers a lot of people, it is good at making it choices. Like, it provides tactical decisions. I'm sitting here and I'm weighing, like, do I race forward with these armored units? Do I hold back? Like, right now the Germans are going to sacrifice a lot of their armor, try to mess with me, mess with my supply lines, delay me just that one last turn. But it really makes you think, and honestly now, I have 2 turns, but with their reinforcements, I don't even know if I'm going to get the brilliant victory. And that cavalry is dead. Luckily, it takes some supply steps off them, but ooh, this is getting interesting. And I am overrunning my supply lines there. I have to try to swing this close now. There's nothing else for it. Because I need... the way the supply follows roads... if I can... really... get the road hex to connect over to my other units, they'll benefit from that supply too. I can't quite cut off everything, so maybe this is worth it. Yeah, let's sacrifice an armored unit. Why not? Start to open this back up. Oh, couldn't quite kill him. And I messed up. Yep. If you don't know what I did, now this armored unit can't really do anything interesting because he has to stay on the victory hex. Otherwise, they can totally take it back. This is a rough one. And even right here, this armored unit, I get an overrun, but it is going to be, I think, too little too late for even the... well, no, I think I get the 6th turn, but it's gonna be darn close on whether or not I can actually pull off the other victory. It's gonna come right down to it, and he's out of supply 2 turns. He has to wait, so it's all coming down to this turn. I have now officially messed up the brilliant victory. And we're going to find out if I can even get a decisive. Alright, turn 6. Can I get my consolation prize? Well, he's on the victory hex. So, everything is going to come down to, can I move him off? Overrun, finally got it. Close off your retreat, take away a step. Move everything out of the way that I can. Luckily, like I said, the way this campaign works in the last video, in case anyone doesn't watch that, you can really just sacrifice certain units because, like, once the game is over, the game is over. So, kick him off, take it. Alright. And I did get a decisive victory. So, I know this one is a short one this week, but I've had a lot of tech issues. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. It was a lot of fun. Let me know in the comments if you like the live commentary or if you would rather I do post. I don't know if I'm as helpful sometimes. Sometimes I feel like I do better explaining, and sometimes I just get so into playing the game I don't pay attention. But next time we will do the race for Rostov, and I will see you guys next Wednesday. Leave a like or subscribe if you want more wargame content and more history content, and stay excited about history.